Hey guys, my name is Tiffany, and we are here with another episode on the Blacklist Network. How did I get here from there? So today I have an awesome friend of mine. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I have an awesome friend of mine who is going to be joining us and telling us more about what it is that he does. And I think you guys are going to be in for a real treat because this is really, really exciting. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. What do you do? And any other information that you want to share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so my name is Doug Eady. I'm actually, I'm an art director and brand strategist. Primarily my job is helping people build their brands, through the use of graphic design, art direction, creative direction, and just basically just going out and just helping people just build their story so they can be confident to tell the world. And it was a pleasure working with you.
Amen. So what Doug did not put in that insert in that intro is that we actually met each other through a program here in Columbia called Talented 10.
Yeah.
We're going to have some more information coming out about that soon, but it's a really cool leadership program here in Columbia, and we'll get some more information to you, but that's how we met. But what's important here is what you see on this screen, the Blacklist Network. Doug created the branding for the Blacklist Network. I know there are a lot of things you haven't seen yet, but I'm going to show you all of what Doug can do. And when I tell you he's the man, he is the man. So I'm going to just, before we hop into how did the branding happen for Blacklist, let's take a step back to kind of understand how did you get here? Because I know you had a little bit different a start in that than most because you went to...
I went to Clemson University for architecture, and I graduated with I have a degree in architecture. And I ended up graduating in the recession of 2008.
Wow. Wait, Doug, I did not know that you wait a minute. This is brand new information. So let me take a step back even further because I know that you went to governor school.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So let's talk about that. How did you end up there? Like what is governor school? Let's start there. Let's get comfortable.
That's a whole stuff. Okay. So
and what were you in there for? So go ahead.
All right. So how the governor school came on my radar, well, I was in art class, and I didn't even know that this place existed. So what ended up happening is that my art teacher, she told me, she said, Doug, here's an application. You're applying. If you go, you're going. Okay.
Wow. She saw it in you.
And matter of fact, and at that time, this was the third year that they were doing the residential program. And so all thanks be to God that I was able to get in, and I was actually that third class that graduated in the residential program.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so, and for people and for people who don't know, people like Patina Miller, Nicole Bahari, Tiana Ferris, Danielle Brooks, they all went to they also went to governor school as well.
Wow, and the one name you mentioned, Tiana Paris, I actually know her from high school. But wait a minute, we look at God because this was a. Did you know that you had this special talent as it relates to art? Like, did you know that what you had stood out?
Not really, no. I just loved art, and then I did not know that there were avenues for something like this. And I'm just thankful that people were just in the right places at the right time, and just be in position. I was, it's interesting. I'm glad we're talking about this because I was talking with someone, and I said there's two people, and there's two type of people in the world. Mm-hmm. There's guiders and there's gatekeepers. The interesting thing about both of these individuals is that they both see the destiny in you.
Wow.
The only difference is that when you have a guider, they see it within you, but they're going to help you. They're going to help guide you to where you need to go.
That's good.
The gatekeeper, they see the same exact thing, but because it threatens them.
They see a threat.
They see a threat
instead of potential.
Exactly. They're going to try to do what they can to try to
push it down, hide it, cover it up with dirt.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I've been thankful that I have been blessed to kind of have, interesting enough, both, but then yet at the same time, I had more guiders than gatekeepers.
Ooh, that's a good word. That's really good. That's really good. And I think what's important too is sometimes you don't know that what you have is a talent based on your level of exposure.
Correct.
Because if you're not exposed, and even in the case with me, when I told my story, somebody said, well, did you know that you stood out when it came to numbers and math? I'm like, no, because nobody in my household struggled with it.
Right,
so
right,
just
right,
to
right,
see,
right.
like, had somebody pointed it out, or in your case, somebody pointed this thing out and it changed the trajectory
Correct.
of your life.
It
Wow. Okay, so now that we got the governor's school piece figured out, let's hop in
The architect.
college, because where did that come from when you had this great moment where somebody saw this gift in you and you landed in architecture?
So and again, it goes back to the governor's schools because the fact is that we actually end up having multiple different tracks that we can go and do graphic design. We have architecture, we have sculpture, and then I end up doing the architecture track. And then at that time, shouts out to John Jacks. He's been a very good mentor of mine, especially during that time in my life. And he was my professor junior year, and then he also ended up becoming my senior concentration advisor as well, which I focus on architecture. And he also had ties with Clemson, and so that's where. But ultimately, I decided to go into that because I was like, well, as an artist, I'm like an artist as a designer. I want to be able to do something that's going to make money.
Right. You don't want to be a broke, struggling artist. Starving artist.
No, you're right. You're right. And so, and it was interesting because my approach to that was like, what I didn't want to do is just, again, become another star, like you said, another starving artist. I wanted to be, I wanted to actually do something that was going to make me money, that was going to be able to build a career and just fulfill both that lot, that logistical and artistic side. And then next thing, this came on my radar, and I went for it, and then got into really multiple different architectural schools, but then I eventually chose Clemson University.
Okay, so you actually finished your degree in architecture.
Correct.
So how did we get here? Because you specialize in graphic design, like that's what you do now. So let's work through the middle.
My story is this. My story is very interesting. So again, it goes back to the governor's school because again, I was in that track of graphic design,
right?
And then so I kept that skill all through high school and then through college, and then when the recession happened, everything was getting torn apart.
Okay.
And so I said, well, I had to try to figure out a plan B because architecture firms were closing like crazy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was, I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
Wow. So that was kind of a blessing in disguise for you to reroute you.
Right. And then that's when the skill say, okay, well, you know what, let me try to go ahead and fall back on, the other skill. So that's why I want to tell you viewers, it's okay to have a plan B. It's okay. Please, actually, sometimes it's best too because you just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why people say always have if this plan don't work, if this plan doesn't work, then this is it. No, let's be smart about this.
Okay, planning.
Let's be smart about this. Okay, it's okay. And then so what ended up happening, I was able to use those skills. Work for a magazine, work for an agency, and then after that, my career took off.
Wow.
But what's interesting enough is that when it comes to architecture and it comes to branding, they're all about building stories. They're all about building narratives, understanding human connection, interaction, and so pretty much my approach to architecture and branding are pretty much they're basically the same.
Similar. Okay.
And so that's how I'm able to kind of help you with that today.
Wow. All of this time, I thought your whole background was branding and marketing because
that's part of it.
When we met and I pitched my idea to you. So we're gonna hop right into a little bit of the story on where did the Black Liz Network even come from, because Doug was there firsthand.
Oh yeah, I was there. Yeah. You was on a big rant that day. You was like, wow. You Man, yeah.
So a little bit of background. So again, we were in this program together, Talented 10th, and from day one, we like just hit it off. This is my guy.
Yeah.
So from day one, we hit it off, and we meet monthly, and we do like different things. And this particular month, we had a kind of a field trip, and we did
was it Columbia 63?
Columbia 63 tour, which I would recommend you take. It's a great tour. So we were doing the Columbia 63 tour, and while we were doing this tour, it just I just wasn't right. Like, it was just triggering all sorts of things in me. And what the tour is primarily about is it's about the contributions of the folks out of Columbia and how the contributions they had toward the civil rights movement. And as we're going through all of the monuments and we're going through things, I'm just getting more and more mad. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad. I start ranting to Doug, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Columbia. Why don't we have anything in Columbia? And why aren't Black people linking arms today and causing movement together? Why are we so, segmented? And why are we so siloed and segmented? Why is there nothing in Columbia where Black professionals can meet on a regular basis and be in the room with like-minded folks who are and pushing each other forward? Like, what are we doing? And poor little Doug, I was ranting so bad.
You definitely gave me a few choice words that day. I was like, wow.
But I really didn't know what was brewing. And even after we finished that tour, I just wasn't able to sleep at night about it. I was still so angry. And just I remember just out of the blue one day, God was like, what are you gonna do about it?
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And I was like, whoa, not too much. Wait a minute, whoa.
You got too much. Look, how they say you got too much dip on your chip.
You got too much dip on the chip.
You got too much dip on your chip. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, Lord, wait a minute, wait. He's like, no, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to add to future generations? And then what was really annoying me too on the tour is I was thinking about all the time I waste on TikTok. And I was like, oh my gosh, all the time I waste on TikTok, I could be doing something productive for somebody else, for the next generation. I got so much in me to give. And meanwhile, I'm just wasting away, right? And I was just complaining so bad. And God gave me this idea and just a little bit of snippet too. I had the idea, but then I was like, well, what am I going to call it? What am I going to call it? And I was just praying about it. And I was just like, God, we need a name. And I'm like, I don't want just any name. I want it to mean something. I want it to be clever. I want it to be something that's going to grab your attention. And I was, me and a friend met and we just thrown out all kind of names and none of that stuck. I was like, no, that's not it. And on my way home from meeting with that one friend, he just dropped it in my spirit, Blacklist. And I was like, oh, that's the one. That's the one.
When I heard it, I was like, oh, that's fire. I was like, that was it.
That's the one. And so, and we threw the network on there, the Blacklist Network. And so I have this grandiose idea that Doug was kind of at the foundation of, if you will. And so, of course, my next idea was like, okay, well, what is it going to look like? I need a brand. I need to start making moves. And we had a conference call about something completely unrelated. Now, I don't know what I thought Doug did, y'all. I don't know what I thought he did for a living, but I had no idea. And it just so happened in that call, you were logged in under your marketing company.
Blaze Design Studio,
Blaze Design, And so I'm going to give you a chance to talk about Blaze Design, but cool. He was logged in under Blaze Design, and I was like, what is that? What is Blaze? What is it? And so immediately following, we hung up that call. Once we got off the conference call, I called him immediately.
Yeah, you did. I was like, it was like, leave meeting. I was like, what? How did I just clicked the leave meeting? Golly.
Oh gosh.
It's crazy.
And I was like, wait, what is this? What is this you do? Right? You told me you do branding. And I was like, oh my gosh, I needed somebody to do branding. And so we set up a time. I started throwing out all these ideas. Again, he was there at the bottom of the ramp. And so we talked, and then you gave me so much information. Let's talk about some of the things that you told me. And when I shared, I was thinking really small. I just really needed a logo real quick is what I was thinking. And what Doug gave me and the life he spoke into the vision at that moment, I can't even.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the things you told me. If you remember, like
no, it was that was a very interesting moment. I'm not gonna lie. That was, yeah. I mean, it was very interesting at that moment because Tiffany, I knew that when you was going through and explaining everything, I literally witnessed somebody was at a crossroads. You was like, what that you literally asked asked that question. What am I doing? How am I going to make this happen? And when I heard the term blacklist, and of course, when we always hear the term blacklist, we always think of negative connotation and everything else. And I said, but hold on. And I was like, you know what? Let's kind of change this, just kind of change the narrative a little bit and kind of elevate how we actually see this word, how we change the narrative, because that's exactly what you're doing with what you're doing right now. You're literally changing the narrative, how we as Black people, we see ourselves. As the community, just even the business, entrepreneurs, and just ultimately just going out and just pursuing your dreams, right?
Being Black and listed, not Black listed as in thrown out. No, you listed and you Black.
Exactly. So when you were thinking that, you said, okay, well, hey, you know what? I want to start thinking about things local, and you say you want to think about things in Charlotte. And then so when I began to start thinking about this thing, and I said, you know what? This name actually has way more potential. Just it does not need to be constrained to be something local. Yes. And so I said, I want to be able to, when I work this thing out, I want to be able to say, okay, hey, this thing can work in like a New York, an LA, a Miami, a Dubai, a Japan, wherever you go, you bring that type of vibe and just this upper echelon kind of, just like you said, Black excellence and just of ideas. It's almost like you starting a whole new renaissance. Yes, which I thought was really cool, and so that's where a lot of where the genesis is really come from, and then also at the same time, I asked myself the ultimate question. I said, well, what is, for me, when I was going through this process, because I had like a whole process of what I was doing. And I said, what's really Tiffany doing here? And I said, oh, she's providing a space for key holders. And I said, because going back to that analogy of gatekeepers and, a gatekeeper.
Ooh, that's so good.
And I said, yeah, because she's basically providing a space for people to help each other unlock their potential. Ooh, that's so good. So that's where when you look at the design, that's where the key aspect came from. But then also at the same time, it kind of core, because you said you want this thing rooted in faith. And I said, the next thing I said, oh, the key of David. And so then that's when the scripture Isaiah 22 came in, and I said, that's where we're going with that. And then honestly, it would kind of really help build itself. Wow. And then after that, I was like, yeah, here we go.
When he presented to me the finished product, I really was not thinking large. I really was just trying to get up and going, right? And when he presented the brand and the brand package, I mean, it's a package.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
When he presented that brand guide to me, I was blown away. It almost felt like, oh, I don't know if I can step into this. Like it was so just perfect, honestly. And then it for me, what was important was my faith and keeping God in it. Now, I didn't even tell Doug this piece right here. Something God told me when I started this was to lead with the light. He said, lead with the light in all that you're doing. Lead with the light. I did not even mention that to Doug. And in the package that he gave me back, and you'll see it on the screens, it has little lights in the logo. And I was like, I didn't even tell him that. I was like, this is so God. Like, this is the visual of what this should look like. And in fact, y'all, God had already gave me the idea to create the podcast to go along with it, to have different professionals tell their story so that other people can get encouraged. And we shot an episode right before you sent me that pack, like a couple of days before he sent me the package. We booked a space here in Columbia, and we shot an episode. And when he sent that back to me, and I looked at the brand, and I looked at my episode, and I looked at the brand, I said, the episode going in the trash. Like the visual of the episode did not match the brand.
Well, I'm sorry for that.
No,
sorry for that.
No, because I'm glad that happened because the visual didn't match the brand.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, God, you want me to start a podcast? Where am I going to shoot it that matches this brand?
Yeah.
And then come the idea of the Blacklist Network Creative Studio. So this podcast studio really came up out of the vision that you gave.
Well, I appreciate it. But no, hey, thanks to the Most High for that, man. Because the thing about it is that I when I was going through, like I said, I was going through my designer process and everything else, and just my internal goal was to say I want, like you said, I wanted this thing to match not only your energy, but then also at the same time, I wanted to, again, take it to a whole nother different level, because I didn't want it to make it look like it was local. I wanted it to look like this thing did come out of like New York, and then say, hey, you know what? I want it to look like it's already big already, but it's just starting to just go to other different places.
Yeah.
So that's where it was really, I was just happy, just to be able to help you with this.
I was so thrilled with the results. I didn't know what to do with myself, y'all. Y'all don't have any idea how many people I sent that to.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
I sent it everywhere because I just couldn't believe the level of excellence that you delivered when I originally went to him for a logo. I went for a logo.
Yeah. I was like,
and you said, no, you need a brand. You don't need a logo.
100%. You do. Yeah.
And it was just so so amazing. Tell us a little bit about Blaze Design.
Oh yeah. So Blaze Design, wow, that was that genesis was interesting. So that started really around about 2013 when I basically moved back from Greenville, and it came at a very interesting time, because again, it was kind of still that post recession kind of thing. Things were still kind of stable, and so I was like, look, I gotta find something to do, whatnot, and so what ended up happening, I end up coming up with Blaze Design Studio. Well, actually, how I came up with the name was that I was sitting in Barnes and Noble at the time, and I said, so what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing? And I was like, well, I'm trailblazing new opportunities for myself. And I said, oh, trailblaze. Cut the trail off, and then said Blaze
Kept
Design
the blaze.
Studio. Right. And so, but it came at a perfect time, because that was during the, literally not too long later, my father ended up getting sick. So it really came at a time that where I would have been, I could be able to operate in both spaces, because the fact of the matter is that with my father's situation, it was, I wouldn't be able to work, but I was able to kind of be able to kind of work with other different clients and different things in the midst of all this.
Yeah.
It really worked out.
Amen.
But at that time too, I was able to work with multiple different clients and really got to learn about business. It really tested everything about life and everything with it. But that's really like how Blaze Design Studio really started. It just started out as, again, as like you, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm trailblazing new opportunities for myself, and then boom, that's how it works.
Wow. I love how it was birthed in a place that looked desolate.
That's you were exactly right.
Wow. Because even Blacklist Network was birthed in a place that looked desolate.
No, you're right. It's interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. So many times we attribute desolate places as, let me hurry get up out of here. I don't like it. This is uncomfortable. I don't like it here. But really, those are just really places of some real growth and some new opportunities.
100%.
Wow.
100%. That's exactly right. Because like when and it's interesting, I'm glad that we're having this conversation. And again, I really do appreciate you inviting me on your podcast. I
glad you
really
said
do.
yes.
I really do. I really do. Because, yeah, because like I said, when I look at my career and when you asked me to come on this podcast, I was like, what am I going to say to these individuals? Like, what am I going to do? Like, but the next thing, it had me to think about my career, and it wasn't linear. If I had to really gauge it, it was kind of like, okay, you're going through high school, college, and then you go and you graduate, and then boom, the recession hit, and then it started to creep up, and then it just started doing this number.
Scribbles.
Right. But what's interesting about that chaos is that was where my character was built.
Whoa.
That was where all the experiences came from. That's how I got to this point, to be able to help you get to this point, because of all the experiences in that chaos. So now I live in the methodology of embrace the chaos. Don't shy away from it. Embrace it. That's where your character is built. That's where you get your reps in.
That's where you get that grit.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm glad you said that, because in all of the interviews that I've done so far, that same thing keeps coming. Now, we haven't talked about this in advance, y'all. Yeah. So the same thing keeps coming up of just, encouraging you and reminding you, like, this is not just this. Where people are, where you may see or perceive somebody is in the moment, right. That's generally never linear. Like, exactly. It's never. Just linear. And even in your case and in other cases with other folks, you set out with architecture, but that wasn't God's plan. That was your little plan, because you wanted to make sure you had some money in the pocket. But even that divine piece that happened when you were younger, of that teacher saying, "Hey, no, you need to go here." Like, it was seen, it was placed in front of you early, and so we think this thing is linear, and it's just not. And the expectation really shouldn't be that it's just linear, clean. And I don't know why we do that as kids. When I hit this age, I'm gonna be this. When I'm gonna do why do we do that? It's silly.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But I can't be mad at where I am at where I'm at right now, because I'm able to use all the skills.
That's good.
I'm able to use all that. And matter of fact, now that I'm at art director currently at Midlands Technical College, and coming to speak, and how the graphic design and actually the architecture really correlate. Actually, now my first project there, when I got there, they were like, "Well, hey, we need you to go ahead and do this mural wall for the new building that they had, and it was 3 floors." Well, and I was like, okay, cool. And I did this really cool, like, and if you actually go to Midlands Tech and go to CBIT, you can see it. It's really cool. And we actually did like 3D letters and everything else. My first project, that project itself has probably won. Oh my goodness! I know it's already won an gold NCPR award.
Whoa!
It's won
award winning.
Matter of fact, multiple awards.
We
just got word that it just got the a gold for the Graphic Design USA, which is an internet kind of like the global. Yeah, so it's really cool. But it all
well deserved.
I appreciate
well deserved. Like, I'm telling you, if you are in need of branding, real talk, you reach out to this man here. Okay, Doug is like the realest, the illest, the realest.
I appreciate
like,
it.
And just
I really appreciate
for
it.
me, just listening. Like, you didn't just, okay, I got this and blah blah blah. No, you actually kind of involved yourself in the process itself, and really just got down in it and just, okay, what would I want this to, I mean, like, and in prayer too, like, you didn't just come up with something like, I just, if you need branding and you don't know exactly, you need somebody who's going to listen to you, number one, and then, like, hear what you're actually saying and hear what your vision is and hear your heart on the matter, even if I probably wasn't even speaking real audible words.
No, that was cool. But you gave me enough to work with, and I said, "Hey, I got you."
I couldn't contain my excitement. It was just such a discovery moment. But I just think the process and where you are now is just, I'm just so excited for where you are and where you're going.
Hey, same for you. I mean,
I'm excited.
Look, again, I'm happy for you.
Yes.
when I saw the logo on the door here, I was like, what is I'm literally sitting here and just watching legacy. I'm watching greatness happen. And like I told you earlier before, I said it just makes my heart just so full just to see people who have an idea and act on it.
Amen
and you
to that.
And you standing on business
Amen
with it.
to that.
You not wavering at all. You not
try to stand on business.
What big dog status for real? I mean, I when I saw this and I saw that thing, I was like, oh snap!
Yeah,
like Tiffany is not playing.
You should be proud because that's your logo on the door.
But you know the funny thing about it is
that
when I'm
out here, Doug.
When I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, this is. I'm just impressed. But then again, though, that just tells you, again, I have. that was another process too. When I came to this, when you came to me, I was like, God, I was like you. I was like, God, what am I doing here? I was like, what are we doing here? I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know, but again, that's a testament to, I'm just thankful that God was able to give me this opportunity and allow His creativity.
That's good.
To be able to show, because God is a creator.
Ooh, I love that, to allow His creativity to show.
And that's what I have to do every time.
Oh, we were talking about this earlier there's folks like us, and I'm sure there are many others who we've been living in this incubator land of just being clothed in that secret place with God. And He's really like pulling us out. And I feel like when I made the list of different folks I wanted to interview, I didn't even think of you. For whatever reason, it didn't come up. But then like a couple of weeks ago, you just dropped in my spirit. Like, wait, why don't I have Doug on the list? Like, what am I doing? So really, even that is, he's showing that, hey, it's time for you to step out.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for me to step out, because I like the incubator, but this Blacklist Network thing kind of came and it was like, Lord, you put me on the streets with a K.
And I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad
you bringing me out.
I'm glad you.
I like being in a secret place. It's peaceful there.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly was my same.
Yeah.
I understand exactly where you were. I was like, I don't know how. I just want to be behind the scenes. And then, like I told you before, I was like, I heard someone say, hey, the time of you working behind the scenes, it's over.
Come out. It's time. Out.
And so now when you asked me to do to do this, I said, you know what? I am going to do it. I am going to do it.
He must have told me after you said that, yes, because you just dropped in my spirit so violently, like, call Doug. And I was like, wait, why don't I have him on the list? That's crazy.
Man, So I like I said, I am just happy just to sit here and just witness greatness. I really am.
Y'all, this has been a great experience. It's been great interviewing you. Like this was really good. Any last final thoughts that you would say to the person who's maybe trying to figure it out, or maybe that person who's not sure whether it's time for them to come out and they kind of want to stay in the incubator? Like what final thoughts would you like to give to anyone who may be in a, weird space, or even in that dry place where Blaze Design was created out of? Like, what would you say? Final thoughts.
Live life, take risks, have no regrets. And emphasis, have no regrets.
Have no regrets.
Have no regrets.
At least try it.
Exactly. Because in the end, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's okay. But don't let that limit you from actually trying.
Oh, that's good. Try it. Just try it.
Just try it. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't have to be permanent. I mean, just test it. Just see if it works, because billion-dollar companies test products all the time.
True.
They send it out in different markets and they try it out. They say, okay, hey, it's doing well here. It's doing well here. Okay, cool. I mean, perfect example. When you think about here in Columbia, how we have Dave & Buster's, right? Interesting enough, I didn't realize that when my sister, she stays in Columbus, Ohio, one of the first stores, one of the first Dave & Buster's was in Columbus, Ohio. And that was like 99, right? And now all of a sudden I'm starting to see them up, but they test that idea up there.
Yeah.
And now here we are. So just try it.
Just try it.
Yeah, just try it. Yeah. Live life, take risks, have no regrets.
Okay. There you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see you again next week.
All right.
Thank you, Doug, for coming in with us.
Thank you, Tiffany. No, thank you so much. And I really do appreciate you. And then, like I said, I want to give you your flowers, for you doing this amazing thing and ultimately you taking the chance on yourself.
Amen.